Are we on?
We're live.
Absolutely. Let's go down to the
business.
business.
Where should we start?
Let's start with the week that just ended with the Cagliari beating.
The game that just ended.
Yeah, with the Cagliari beating Parma.
Why are you so happy?
I'm happy because Parma gave a hard time to AC Milan. And for me, any formation that takes points away from AC Milan deserves to lose. Not that I'm in love with Cagliari, don't get me wrong, for what they did to Bari. But in this particular week, I'll take that.
It's so weird. Serie A is like impossible to predict. Every game, from one game to the next, anyone could beat anyone. And I thought maybe not even like teams like Como or Venezia, but then Como will tie. They'll come back and score 3 goals in 12 minutes against Atalanta. Venezia beat Genoa then. It's like impossible to predict this season.
Our friend Matt, too, he bets on a lot of games. He said he stopped betting on Serie A just because he can never predict. Whenever he asked me, I was like, that game's not safe. He was like, you say that for everyone because it's true.
Was that Testarossa?
Freaking impossible.
All the leagues now, he stopped doing Serie A because it's so unpredictable.
Monza tie Inter, and then Monza get killed by Napoli. I mean, it's just from one game to the next, you don't know what to predict. You don't know what's going to come. It makes it exciting. And we got Napoli back in first place. First time in 483 days. I spoke to my dad today. He said, you see, my prediction of Napoli winning the Scudetto, he thinks is looking good.
It's on a good track. I'm not going to lie. The first game, I was like, oh, man, I put them too high. But now they picked up some
What'd you put them, third?
I put them third.
You still have Milan in first. They're right there. After a terrible start, you're right there, a couple points away.
Are you trying to say that I'm right?
Well, no. Milan's not going to finish first place.
How do you know that?
I'll bet you anything.
Ooh.
He also said that for the Scudetto when they won it probably, too, right?
I'll bet you anything.
Right,
Milan's not going to win the Scudetto this year.
What you want to bet?
What do you want to bet?
The dishes.
A nice pizza pie at your new spot.
No.
Something good, Anto. Come on. For all of us.
Peter Luger?
We've been saying the
Las
amount of
Margaritas.
Peter Lugers you guys own.
Margaritas, 10 margaritas.
All right, 10 margaritas.
All right.
All right, deal?
And
Are we talking about the
but
drink
only
or the
for-
pizza?
But even only for
Drink.
Even for the producer.
No problem.
And what about us?
No, you guys don't count.
Wait.
Maybe Mike.
Thanks, buddy.
I'll
We
give
don't
you
buy
one.
margaritas for Inter.
give you
For
one.
Inter.
A bulldog.
At least one round.
No. Next.
Few months
You
left.
feel better about Milan?
Absolutely.
That much better?
Listen, in 1 week, we had almost Fonseca grilled and done already, overcooked and burned, and all of a sudden,
You flip 'em over.
Fonseca is on the top of the crest.
on the food chain.
Yeah, Fonseca, I'm telling you, just give him a couple more weeks. If we do not lose, I'm not saying that we're going to win. If we do not lose against Leverkusen, I think it's going to be bad news for a lot of teams in Serie A, Napoli included. You guys, on the other end, I mean, Inter, they have 2 teams and they cannot fail. The pressure is still on them as we speak to repeat. So whether they're going to do it or whether they're not going to do it, it's not our problem. We are just happy to be sitting on the back and watching everything happening.
Spectating, right?
Yeah, just scanning
Do
everybody.
you feel like you guys are not as motivated? I mean, even the game against Udinese was scary. If Lautaro doesn't score that goal right before the
that's
halftime,
right,
it could have been
that's
very
right.
dangerous.
And got lucky too.
But it seems like that spirit, we know everyone always says winning the first time is hard, but repeating it is even harder.
Repeating, it's not
And
that
is
easy.
there a lack of motivation, or are they thinking just about Champions League? What is it? What do you think? Do you see it, or maybe I'm off?
No, we haven't gotten off the best of starts, but I think we're looking at a team that, you have to play this new Champions League, and
here's a PR.
the objective I think is still not clear. So
P puts the
Look, he's-
P in PR.
Yeah, the word salad is starting. The word salad is starting. Wow.
This guy's the next Marotta.
I'm
I
telling you.
know.
He's very well
He
spoken.
says nothing
Yeah.
the entire
exactly.
Yeah.
He
There's a whole lot of nothing.
He can talk
This is
1
AI.
hour.
He can talk an hour.
Yeah, it's
but nothing comes out.
AI. He can spend 1 hour talking about nothing.
Absolutely.
It's like
Just words.
Seinfeld.
You know
It's
what?
all about nothing, right? It's like Seinfeld.
yeah.
Everything about nothing.
That's a good
He's
show.
like me
That's
when
a
you're
good
trying to fill
episode.
words in an essay back in school. They said you had to reach a certain number of
500
characters.
500
I just keep
words?
repeating the same
Yeah.
sentence like
Yeah.
15 times in a different way.
That's what Peter
there's only 6 games, so we have a long way to go. So
be a politician.
it's the early rounds.
But are you gonna answer my
At the
question?
end- what is it?
Do you,
Even for a guy, he will say the same thing he does all the time.
do you think you guys are less motivated? Do you seem less motivated?
No, I don't think it's about being less motivated. Lautaro was in a slump.
What about in defense?
Defensively, we've been poor. So I don't think it's about being less motivated. I think it's not getting our engines turned on full capacity. So that's the reality. And then it's going to come down to the point that we have a target on our back, and we have to match everyone else.
Always gonna make a move.
I'm scared. I'm scared. Defensively, I think that Napoli and Juventus have been better than you. And historically, the team with the best defense does go on and win Serie A. As exciting as we want to be about football, about scoring goals and all this stuff, if you're really solid there. And you're saying it's only 6 games, which you're right, and maybe we're reading too much into it. But you could also argue it still is only 6 games. This is when you're not going to have tired legs. You haven't gotten into the meat of the season yet.
But we're 1 point away from first, no?
No, I know, but
2 points.
But either way, the attitude. It's the first time I'm doubting.
It's the whole league.
I'm doubting Inter.
I mean, it's the whole league. Nobody has really come out and say, "Oh my God."
Napoli hasn't. After the first game, they've been perfect.
Yes, but they still had their.
But then you guys tie against
They're-
Monza. I think like Conte's teams, they're in those small games, they're not going to slip up.
Yeah.
because they don't have any Champions League games.
Exactly.
Inter
So that's my point.
slipped up to Monza because they were already looking towards the next game.
That's my
I
point.
feel like it's
Concentration
always like that
levels.
though, because when
You said
when
motivation.
Okay.
I think that's part of it. Because listen, Napoli have something to prove at the end of the day. Because first of all, they're not in Europe. Conte is a new coach. He wants to show that he can still do it. Inter came back from a Scudetto winning season, so it is hard to reintegrate them back in the thing and try to give them the motivation. Because listen, they won it. The season before that, who was it? Milan that won. Napoli
Then
won it.
Milan.
So they wanted to prove something. So it's always going to give you more motivation when you don't have the target on your back to try to prove everyone wrong. It's always harder to repeat something like that. So it's even for Milan, the season after they won the Scudetto, of course, going to be harder because they had a target on their back too. Same thing with Napoli, and they all didn't do as good. But, merited that Inter obviously do have the better squad on paper. But it's always going to be like that. I think for Inter, it's more important for them in Europe. That's the motivation for them because they didn't win that. So that's what it is. I just think it's a natural thing. And it's only going to be a certain amount of a few more rounds. So they really
I'm just scared with the goals that you're giving up. The same types of goals, very similar goals that you've conceded.
Set pieces.
Yeah,
They have a
I'm
great
worried about
squad.
that for you.
They have a great
They don't have
squad.
it. They don't have
Cassano, I saw Cassano said that it'll be a failure if Inter don't win the Scudetto because they have 2 teams.
I don't
Which-
agree with that though.
Well,
I don't agree with that. I don't agree that it's a failure if Inter don't win. They're not that much better than everybody else.
Are you kidding
You don't
me?
think
Yeah,
so?
no.
In terms of
Kidding
depth?
me?
No,
Are you kidding me?
Come on.
They're
What are
not.
you talking about? Their
They're
bench
not.
team's
Listen,
not better than other bench
not for it to
teams?
be called a failure. It is, but that's not the only way that you could look at a game because they have competition in this league that's much higher than in the past. The teams that are there, Juventus and Napoli, look scary. So you can't say that just because Inter don't win the Scudetto. What if they lose Scudetto by 2 points on the last match day? That's a failure. The whole
It's
season's a failure.
unacceptable
For
because
sure.
they won by a big margin.
It's not
Oh, I
even that.
disagree.
It's not even because that. I just think on paper, plus their bench is much more stacked than any other team in Serie A.
It gets much closer when you think that Inter are fighting for different targets and there's teams that are only focused on one sole thing every single week. So you have to take that into account. There's like a balance between, yes, Inter have the best team on paper, but there's also other teams that are only focused on the Serie A, and Inter's trying to go far in Italy in Champions League, and they're probably the only team that could realistically win Champions League.
And Inter and the top teams is the only team with the same coach. Everyone else changed it, so they had pretty much strengthened their squad. You can say they got better. They kept their core the same coach. So I would think it's a failure.
It's not a failure.
Why wouldn't it be though?
It can't be a failure.
Why you're building everyone else is building a project.
There is
Inter
no
is
excuse.
building on top of what they already
disagree.
won.
Mike is right. There is no excuse for Inter not to win.
I'm not saying no, but it'd be a failure if they
But
don't
the two
win.
things can be true. They are the best team. They are the best team on paper. They do have the team with the most depth. But for me, it's not classified as a failure unless they drop out by so many points, which I don't think it's going to be. I think this Serie A is going to go down to the last or 1 or 2 match days.
The
And
Scudetto-
for me, you can't consider it a failure if you lose the Scudetto on the last
The
match day.
Scudetto is only Inter to lose. For Inter to lose.
Yeah, I
okay.
agree.
Question number
It's for
1.
Inter to
But
lose.
two
Okay.
things can be true.
Listen to me.
Wow.
Inter are in pole
One
position
more
to
thing.
win. They are the favorites.
Pete, I mean,
but that doesn't mean it's a failure if you don't do it.
What would it be then?
It is
It's not a failure.
Well,
It is a
what
If
is
they
failure.
go
it?
far in Champions, if they go on and win the Champions League,
They're not gonna
and,
win
and
the
they
Champions
and they
League.
finish second in Serie A, it's a failure of a season.
If they
They're
win the
not gonna
Champions League-
win.
That's what you said.
Okay,
No,
yeah.
you said
Well.
that Cassano claims if they don't
Yeah.
win the Scudetto, it's a failure. So that means no
He's
matter
right.
what happens,
Cassano's
if
right.
If they win the Champions League and they finish second,
They're not
place in
gonna win
Serie A-
the Champions
No,
League.
no. But that's not the
If
they won the Champions League and they finish second in Serie A,
yeah, what
it's a
am I-
failure of a season.
I will say partial.
Come on.
It would
Listen.
Come on. It's
Listen.
not that black and white.
Listen. First of all,
it would
let
have masked.
me ask you
them not winning
something.
the
Let me
Scudetto.
ask.
Come on.
Listen.
You win the
Mask.
Champions League.
You're not gonna win the
That's
Champions
an
League,
insane
hands
success.
down.
I'm talking about hypothetically.
It's not crazy.
I'm
if
talking
they
about
win it.
hypothetically.
Yeah.
If Inter win the Champions League,
No one will care about the Scudetto.
crying
Yeah,
that
that's
we
what I'm
lost.
saying.
No
It
one
ma-
cares.
It
No one
masks
cares.
It masks it. That's
It's
what
not
I'm
a failure.
saying.
Don't you think it's a big? Don't tell me now that you're gonna disrespect
Bro,
the
they're
campionato. Don't. You know
No, no one
what?
said
The
that.
argument that they try to put on the
Nobody
table, those
said that.
guys, it's just they try
Nobody
to throw
said
you.
that.
I'm not saying the fans
curveball,
want to be mad,
saying,
but
hey,
it masks
we're
for
gonna
sure.
go all the way for the Champions League. So the campionato for us is no longer that important.
My
That's
only,
what they
my
try to
only,
do.
my only,
They should
the
still
only thing
win
I'm
it.
saying is that Cassano's wrong. That's it.
Cassano is not wrong.
Cassano's wrong.
Cassano is not wrong. Okay.
How do you feel about Milan?
Excellent. I feel so good. Listen, this month of September, I just wish it never end because September has been so good for us.
You only got a couple more hours.
Wake me
Aside,
up.
aside from the loss of
You know that
Liverpool,
song?
I think we're a spectacular month. Spectacular. 3 wins with Fonseca, as I said to you.
What's
almost,
changed?
kicked out.
What's
I don't know. I think it's one game can change everything.
It's true.
I think the win against Inter has put AC Milan on a different trajectory that is very difficult to break now. This is a trajectory that is not in a slow slope. It's like
A rocket.
Man, come on. Who'd you play after Inter?
who do we play?
Who did you play?
We score. We keep scoring. We are the
Who did you
we
play?
are the most prolific attack.
Who did you
attacco
play?
Yo,
della
Paisa, you
Serie
tied the
A.
Monza, so be quiet over there.
Okay, who do we play?
The
Doesn't
point is that he's saying the
matter.
trajectory is like this. It's like this.
No. 3 goals, 4 goals. Hey, we're not scoring less than 2-3 goals a game.
Yeah, because you let in 2-3 goals.
You have the Bayer Leverkusen will be tough.
That's gonna be the Leverkusen came off a draw against Bayern 1-1, and we all know Leverkusen has been incredible form from last season and even this season.
They're different this year, though.
Yeah, they're not the same team. Let me see on the table.
They're a lot. They're a
fourth
lot more
place.
defensive. They're conceding crazy amount of goals. 11 goals in 6 games. Ooh. Yeah, they're not as bombing forward. They like in the game against Bayern Munich. They were more pragmatic. So Xabi Alonso's kind of changing his style. So I wonder how that's going to play into the hands, because I think you guys will struggle against a team that does that. You might get too excited, press them, expose the space in behind, and then that's where their speedy guys, Grimaldo on one side, Florian Wirtz, really good. I'm worried about you in that area.
Listen. Fonseca, I see like someone that is trying to embrace the AC Milan concept, like there is no captains over here, that they have the permanent ban. Anybody can be captain at any time. The other day was Theo Hernandez.
That's
yes,
good.
The other day was Leao. And then we have Calabria. Now the next week, we'll know, who knows, probably going
Next
to put...
week, Anton.
They're going to put... what's his name? Magnan. Then you're going to be seeing me on with the AI.
Capitano da?
Yeah, with the AI.
What are you doing the Ronaldo celebration?
That's right.
Capitano da?
Capitano.
Hey, let's be nice.
Let's be nice,
Let's be
Pete,
nice.
okay? Capitano della fregata, okay? Okay, and then maybe
Your
Morata. and
your
then
call of
Morata.
Gabbia has been very good.
Oh, excellent.
You called Gabbia a while ago, saying that he's got to be the one starting.
The guy is national team level, okay? I'm been telling you, for Spalletti to call Maldini and to call this other young kid, I think he's got his eye on Gabbia. So Gabbia in the next couple exit, the Italian national team is going to put on the floor. You're going to see him on over there right next to
think,
to
huh?
Bastoni. I know, 100%.
I mean, he should be called out.
Should be called out.
He should
No,
be
called up, but he's saying starting. That's a
we'll
little
see.
tougher, but yeah.
Every time that Gabbia played, we never lose.
He's
Every time Gabbia is
showing his
on the
worth.
team, we don't lose.
Yeah.
We just don't lose.
He's got the right attitude. Him, Tammy Abraham. It's a couple guys that embody the spirit in the right way. Let's go talk about Juventus. It's like they only win 3-0 or 0-0. Those are the only results they've had so far this season if we only include the league. Still 0 goals conceded, never done before from Juventus in their history. Hasn't been done in the modern era, 3-point error. but they don't defend like Allegri's team defend. It's a very different attitude. And I think this is actually a perfect example for the people that say that Allegri is Thiago Motta, because I keep seeing that everywhere. And even we made a joke about it just to lean into the theme of this, because at 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, this Juventus always has the attitude to push forward. This Juventus always has the attitude to score that next goal. Everybody's still involved in the play. It's much less individual. Allegri's team is usually, let's sit back, let's be organized defensively. In the attack, these guys are going to solve the game. They're going to figure it out, but there's not the same patterns of play. There's not every single player trying to do something and find patterns of play, which I think is very refreshing. It has not been perfect. Without a doubt, it has not been. Dusan Vlahovic finally scores again, 4 goals in 6 games. Both of them are braces, though, and I think he needed it because, man, was he struggling. He makes some very, very simple mistakes. But your boy Kalulu has probably been one of the best Juventus players.
Can't believe you guys still
third string backup at Milan, and now he goes to Juventus, and amazing defensively, very good on the ball,
He's versatile. He's so versatile.
Is he sold or
it's on loan? But Juventus are going to activate
for sure.
The option
wait a
to
minute,
buy.
who's got the option to buy?
Juve. Yeah. That was a bad move by Milan.
I think only 13 million. Something like that.
13 or 14, I thought.
Which never made sense, because best case scenario, you're only getting 13 million. Worst case scenario, you get a player that doesn't
but I gotta
fit.
tell you, Kalulu, he has that, gets injured all the time.
Yeah, that was his issue.
True,
He had the big injury.
Right.
I am telling you, it's not something. I mean,
He's good when he
I'm
plays.
not happy that we didn't have the option to get the kid back on our squad.
Should have been
but,
a dry loan or something.
I mean, with the money, we can just afford somebody else. There is plenty of other talented defender. And in AC Milan, aside from the year of the Scudetto, he didn't do well. He didn't really.
Because he got that injury.
Well, that's
But
why.
I think for Juventus, they are on the path that I expect them. They're actually, for me, Juventus look a lot better than what I expected. I thought they would struggle
So
early
soon?
on more than they have. And I've been very impressed with that. The only thing is, and I've said it before, it's when they play a team that plays a low block, that sit defensively, they still don't have the creativity to break it down. When the game gets a little bit more open, that's where they get good. But in those matches where a team will be very happy to stay contained, not everybody knows where they're supposed to be yet. That's how I'll put it. But still very, very positive signs. They can compete for the title.
And
I didn't think I would say that, but they can.
Yeah, it's a big one. I kind of predicted that Motta was gonna get the best out of these players in the sense that he's not scared to play the youth, and he doesn't care what your name is. If you show that you're good enough or you're hungry enough, you're gonna be in a starting lineup. And if you see this squad compared to Allegri's squad, it looks completely different. He's played a lot more younger players than Allegri would even
He
dare
made
to.
3 of them start. He
There we
gave
go.
3 of them their starting debuts already from the NextGen team.
So it's crazy how many players he's been recycling from the first round to now, which is very refreshing to see. It's great, and I'm sure for the fans too, seeing the Primavera players getting a chance, or these younger players get a chance that normally a lot of these coaches, Serie A coaches, at the end of the day, they're a little bit more timid to try because they'd rather put the bigger names and try to play it safe. But I love how Motta plays, and it's only a matter of time till Vlahovic starts getting on form. Because once he starts heating up, I think Juve are going to be extremely scary. Because them being clinical, I think, is the only thing that's really missing.
At the end of the day, I was having this conversation this morning. It was about the next-gen players, the youth players being the future of Serie A. That is our future.
Sure.
It's playing those players. That's the theme. Milan did it this year with Milano Futuro. Basically, it's a second team that plays in Serie C, and the idea is that it's a more competitive level than playing at the Primavera, the youth level. And it's been successful. Look at how many players Juventus are bringing in because of that, because they started this a couple of years back. Atalanta is another team that's done it. That has to be the future of Italian football because it's not the Premier League. They can't go out there and spend 30, 40, 50, 60 million on a player, even more, meaning the smaller teams. You have to build up, give the opportunity to these kids to be able to shine, let them play in high-pressure situations, and be the league that gives a chance to these guys to show what they have. And luckily, it's the new young ideas of these coaches that's going to allow them to play. In Spain, look at them with Yamal. They don't think, and Yamal's an exception because he's a crazy, crazy talent.
But the concept's there.
If we want to use an example, it's not, oh my gosh, he's going to make a mistake, and then what's going to happen? It's, okay, the kid's going to make some mistakes, but we believe in the talent. We're going to let him play in tough moments, and that's only going to make him better at such a young age.
And the big thing is, Peter could clarify more for this, is these younger kids are actually playing against men, older guys. So it's not just they're playing against kids. So they're going to be forced to kind of grow up and show. And that's how you know, like, early on, if they really have what it takes.
I didn't play at a very high level, but when I went to Viareggio, the Viareggio tournament, we played a Serie C or Serie D team. I don't remember. Serie D team. And my gosh, the level was so tough because we were playing against these guys that have so much experience. Even the way that they would hold the ball, that you're never going to be able to see it. Like that experience that of playing at a level for such a long time. Then when we played against the Primavera teams, who were the Primavera of Verona, the Primavera of Napoli, top teams, it was so much easier to play against them. Not saying that the talent was more, but that experience of playing against guys who have done it was so difficult.
I like Thiago Motta. I'll tell you the reasons why. He's not scared to put Danilo on the bench for 2-3 games. Danilo starting to think, I said, what the hell am I doing over here? Have I done something wrong? This guy was the captain of Juventus last year. So all of a sudden, then Danilo last week comes in and is wearing the captain band.
And I think he only played because he got the 200th appearance. I think Thiago Motta gave him something nice because it was his 200th game for the club.
Yeah, but Marco, he's playing with the head of everybody. I said, nobody's got a
safe spot.
That's it. Yeah. Everybody's going to have to work. He's going to work hard. He's going to make it. Yeah, look at that.
He looks better.
Douglas Luiz, $15 million for Douglas Luiz.
And he keeps him on the bench. Yeah.
Which is not a good thing, to be honest.
No, but he played well.
It's a pro.
I'm just saying it's not a good thing because Juventus is not a team that could spend $50 million on a guy that doesn't be a starter.
I think it does more to motivate them. In other words, I said, hey, I wanted to see how angry you get to get into the game and then
for sure.
and to show what you're capable to do because once you get in and you have to show me that you belong over there. This is the reasons why he's doing that. And I hope that what's his name, Fonseca, he follows the same.
Well, Fonseca's done it. Wow. Fonseca at Lille is known for that. The kid Yoro that signed for Manchester United for, I think they spent 70 million, 80 million, something like that. He was training with the Primavera team at Lille, and he trained one time with the first team. And Fonseca said to everybody, he said, why is this kid with the Primavera? He should be with the first team. And like, no, he's not ready yet. He's a defender. He's 16 years old. So what? Fonseca said, doesn't matter the age. The kid's got talent. Let's put him in the first team. And he made mistakes. But then guess what? After a year or two, the guy's signing for Manchester United. And you can make an argument on, is it a good decision that he went to Manchester United? But the point is, Fonseca's another coach that's not scared to give some of the young kids a chance.
That's true.
What are your thoughts? Because you're obviously heavily invested in buying and selling players and especially young guys.
Yeah, it's important. You need the opportunity to play. If you don't play, no one's going to see the market. And unfortunately, you need to be in the right environment. So you were mentioning the second teams.
Yeah.
You're playing in a Serie C level, which is very high. You're playing versus
against men,
experienced players.
Not kids.
Yeah. And at times, Juventus had a center back that was 32 years old. So you could also implement, the hierarchy that you usually see in a team where you have the leaders, the older elders, and the senators, and then the young guys coming up. So it's very important. You're giving them the opportunity to play at a high level, make decisions that and challenge them, so that way they're ready. You play in Serie C, you go to tough areas. You go to Taranto, you go to Avellino. These are stadiums that they have flamethrowers ready to throw at you. Flares to throw at you.
I don't know if they have flamethrowers over there.
They do have it. They have it too, right? Oh, yeah.
So it's a
we
whole
need an AI of him doing the flamethrower.
Yeah. It's a whole nother reality than when you go to a Primavera. Even if you play Inter Milan, the Primavera, you'll have fans, but it's not anywhere close to some of these Serie C.
Let me ask you a question.
Fans.
What happens if, I know they can't go up, but what happens if Juventus finish, let's say, first place Serie A?
They go to Serie B.
Do they?
Yeah.
Well, what happens if they go from Serie B to Serie
A?
No,
they can't have two teams in one.
So what would happen?
Down.
Then you call it. If it goes to the next.
They would stay. Yeah,
we'll go to the next person. So they can get to Serie B.
But
yeah,
wow, that would be
the only
massive.
difficulty would if they go down to Serie D. That I'm not sure because then it's dilettante.
But Pete,
they might be able to.
What I wanted to add to what just Peter said, if you look at the balance sheets of those teams like Juventus, Milan, Inter, that they're using this youth and they plug them in, the balance sheets of those teams potentially is is getting much bigger because you know you create the le plusvalenze that you wanted, especially with all of the deficits, all of those you know big teams. They except for AC Milan, nobody in Serie A has
Napoli,
a
no?
surplus. No,
Has it
not
Napoli?
Napoli.
It is
Napoli's been
Napoli.
very
Yeah,
healthy.
Napoli is,
Well,
yes,
AC Milan,
Napoli
AC
is.
Milan.
I
maybe
think
and
you guys are
Napoli.
seeing your highest revenues ever, and I think
And
it's
Fiorentina.
not from a long time that you haven't had revenues increase year after year.
But Marco,
Been in
you
the
get for
positives.
people like Camarda, Zanoli, you have a lot of those young guys
Liberali,
that
yeah.
on the paper,
Liberali,
Liberali,
maybe.
that those people, and even the goalkeeper, those people on the paper,
Toriani, yeah.
yeah, hey,
Well, you have two advantages. One is that they're training
yeah,
in Milanello. They're training with the first team. You could bring them easily up and down. And two, they're playing in, instead of loaning out, you're in charge of their development. So you could loan them out, let's say to Avellino. Avellino right now is in shambles. That kid might not play because they need the experience to make sure that they stay up in the category. And now you lost 6 months to then figure out something else. So that way you have a purpose. And like you said, plus Valenza, a player playing in Serie C has a certain value compared to the Primavera. There's teams in the you know, Dutch first division, Eredivisie. They go and they buy players from Serie C. So now all of a sudden you find a young kid that plays for Milan. You know, that player now is worth a lot more than if he was playing with Primavera.
we got this close. AC Milan got this close to lose Camarda. When we signed him,
Yeah, those
What-
teams wanted him.
Yeah, but do we
They
know
were-
that that's true?
There's just
We don't
rumors.
know that
There
it
was
is.
just
No, there
rumors.
were-
We don't know that it was this close to losing.
That's
well,
because
listen,
the-
there were a
the
bunch of
rules in
teams
Italy.
interested in Camarda.
What's the rule? What's the law?
Until
You had to
until
be 16 at least
Yeah.
to be signed.
until you sign the professional contract, you can always go to another European country, and they would have to just play training compensation. So that's why there's been some players that went to Bayern Munich, that went to Borussia.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
they
an
did
Italian
because-
kid, right?
Because they have until the 16th birthday to sign
Right.
them, and if they don't sign them, or if the player refuses to sign them, they could refuses to sign. He can go to another team in Europe at 16.
A good example right now is Roma this weekend. Pisilli, the
Oh, yeah,
young
scored the
midfielder,
winner.
19 years old, and my gosh, his face
Spalletti
when he scored that goal was incredible. The emotions that he felt, and even in the post-match interview, the kid is crying. And the fact that, I mean, Mourinho was the one that actually gave him his shot in the Europa League when he did score his first goal. This was his first goal in Serie A. And Mourinho said, I had to stop myself. I had to go inside the locker room because I was crying. He said, these are kids that their fathers were bringing them to the stadium. They understand what the team means. And at the end of the day, that's what the Roma fans want to see. So as much as they go out there and they're buying these big superstars, they're paying big salaries, Renato Sanchez, for example, it's sometimes you promote from within
The
and you
grassroots,
get
for
the
sure.
understanding of the club in a tough moment when Roma's losing to Venezia 1-0. They get a lucky deflection with Cristante that they score the goal and they come back. And for him to win this was wow. I don't know. It was something. It was nice to like watch.
But
it's so-
I-
yeah.
I feel like for football, there's so much money, there's so many things,
Yeah.
and we kind of get jaded by things. But then when I saw Pisilli score, I felt something inside.
But that's how they're like these grassroots players. It's like a perfect story, just like Marchisio for Juve, right? His whole team was Juventini, right? He came from the Primavera and he ended up becoming the captain over there, retiring there. So yeah, you want to see your team spend money.
Retired
but
at
if-
Zenit.
What's up?
He retired at Zenit.
You're right.
Just-
but
just to say.
you're right. But for the most part, staying at the club or coming from that club, it's always great to see. So this is definitely the future, and it's proven to be a winner. The more of these teams do that, it'll be better for Serie A and for the Azzurri, because there's gonna be the biggest thing that we've always said, where that the youth isn't involved enough. We're saying, oh, look at France, look at Spain, all these youth players. Why isn't Serie A like this? This is the start of something where it's going to be a positive thing, to be like, they don't always have to spend for different leagues. There's talent in the country, and they just got to be given a chance, and this is a perfect way to portray that.
When I spoke to Fonseca, I asked him about that because I studied that he was very much involved in building up youngsters. And he told me, he said, Italy's like nothing I've seen before. He said, in Portugal and in France, we have a different mentality. When we see youngsters, we don't judge them right away. We allow them to make mistakes. He said, here in Italy, there's so much pressure to win.
It's the media.
That it's win at all costs. And if you throw in a youngster and he doesn't do well, all of a sudden, you speak so much about him. He said there needs to be a little bit more of a relaxed approach. that we can integrate these guys into matches. And obviously when you coach Milan and you coach Lille, it's two different things because you guys expect to win every day. So I think even us as fans, as media, we have to have an understanding that Yildiz is not going to have a 10 out of 10 performance every single time. But the more that he plays, and if there is real talent there, the more that he'll prosper.
And before we go really quickly, I just want to say, but it's also due to the media. They're so cutthroat. If a coach in Italy loses 3 games compared in La Liga, Bundesliga, Premier League, it's much more magnified in Serie A. And you can tell by how many sackings there are due to a season. So if you look at a coach and be like, okay, what do I do so I don't lose my job? I feel like a lot of these coaches are like, especially the old school Italian / Serie A coaches are like that. They'd rather play someone that's sure, or they're not going to get yelled at. Why'd you put in this 17-year-old when you had this established player? So I do feel like that's also part of it. It's not just one thing. It's many factors.
Yeah, no, you said it best. Every coach, you know, things can flip on its head. The same way that Fonseca now all of a sudden
He's
is
a
a
hero,
superstar.
yeah.
You know, if he
When they
loses
wanted his
versus
head
Inter, it's a
before.
whole different conversation. So, you know, you don't have the time to say, "Oh, I'm going to have a year. I'm going to implement this kid."
Exactly.
No, if you don't win,
You got a
you're
couple
out.
of weeks.
You can be gone. So, you know, even if you look at Inter, one thing that I've kind of been upset about is the use of our youth players. We have a good youth system, but we never give any chance to our young guys to play.
There we go.
And you know, I feel that it's easier when you have such a strong team to implement one at a time, a couple at a time, and it's very important for the state of your club. You know, and obviously, yeah, you can't put him in a Champions League game, but maybe you can put him in a game where you're up to nothing, or you know, you put him in and you see how he does. So that I like. One team that I like is Roma. Roma, if you look at this kid, Pisilli, Zalewski, Pellegrini, you know, these are all guys that came from within or came from Roma, and they didn't have a Serie A team, but they do an amazing job and bringing the player up, and there's pressure there too. Roma is very
too,
tough.
or no? Was Zaniolo came?
No,
Zaniolo was in Inter.
Zaniolo was at
Oh,
Inter.
yeah, I
he was a
forgot.
little bit. He went around Fiorentina, Inter, then he went
I
around.
forgot.
Hey, are
But-
the Esposito brothers still part of the Inter squad?
Yes,
Or,
2 of them.
look at that. And then
Just
you
on
loan
loan.
them. You just don't know.
Yeah, well,
I mean, they need time
Again.
to play.
they need to play.
Yeah, they need playing time.
So
I don't know.
what I was getting at is that Roma do an amazing job of being able to call the guys,
For sure.
and they create value for their team. So like we're always fixated on the transfer market
Exactly.
and
Yeah.
bringing in these big name guys, but sometimes you got to see what you have
The grassroots.
before you go outside to go get some, you know, to go shopping. Check what you have in your fridge.
There's nothing in this fridge.
And that's why we gotta go shopping.
Yeah. Hey, do we have water on the fridge, by the way?
You know who never does this either? Lazio. Lazio's
Yeah,
a team
Lazio.
where I can't even name one who's come up. They don't have that like infrastructure to really to put it in. But Lazio, the signings that they made, Tavares has been amazing. 4 assists in his first 4 Serie A games. It never happened before. They're another team that's low key. They're there. I mean, they put on a good performance. Boulaya Dia scored again. The guy's on fire. So I know Marco Baroni is not the sexiest name that you could get, but realistically, he's helped do better. And also, you know what's good about him? I've seen him play a lot of different players at Lazio. Sadi, sometimes, you know, the joke is, he's got 13 guys, 14 guys, and that's it.
That's it.
I see Baroni that he mixes it up. He's got the balance maybe a little bit better. At least at this moment, we could say that he's gotten the balance better than Maurizio Sarri.
Well, he was in Lecce, so he did extremely well in Lecce. I'm not sure. Not
Hellas Verona after.
Hellas Verona did a great job over there, and then all of a sudden he finds himself to be coaching Lazio. And the only big problem that he has is dealing with Lotito. Other than that, and before was Tare and Lotito. Now it's only Lotito. So Baroni, I think, is going to have a lot of carte blanche
The good thing about
to do
if you,
whatever he wants
I
to
don't
do.
think so.
I think
Yeah,
that he's
a
told
lot
what
more.
to do.
A lot
Anto.
more.
but
He's
the
told
good
what
thing,
to
but the
do,
good thing
Anto.
with these coaches is they expect to not spend a lot. So with Lotito, probably loves it because he was at Lecce and Verona.
That's why he got
who
Baroni.
don't- But that's what I'm saying. So he's not gonna complain like a Sarri
Look
or
what
a
happened
bigger
with
name
Tudor.
coach.
Tudor left in 3
There
months.
we go.
Baroni, this is a chance for him that if he does
To
well,
prove himself.
he'll go to another
Just
team
like
again.
Italiano.
So like he's already done miracles really with Lecce, who was one of the bottom
Or Motta,
spenders.
no.
Hellas Verona sold half their team in January, and he still was able
That
to
was
keep
ridiculous.
The team
Verona's doing pretty decent this season, man.
up. Yeah, it's still early. But
Yeah, I know it's still early. A good
He's-
star. Good
he
star.
lost half of his team. He literally lost
Yeah.
half of his team. Got all new guys.
13 guys, I think,
and,
right?
and he was able to freaking still stay up.
You know who I'm mad at? And I don't want to see this happen? Genoa with Gilardino.
yeah.
I see people talking about Gilardino. Even Palladino, I'm putting them both in. For me, both of them are great coaches. Great coaches. The situation at this moment is just not great. If I think about Gilardino, they're struggling to score goals. You lost friggin' Retegui. You lost Goodmanson. They accounted for almost 70% of their goals.
Those are best
Then you also
players.
lost your goalkeeper, Martinez. Then even if you want to go back, Dragoshin in the defense. I mean, these guys are putting up miracles, finding players, needing things to hit.
Not
And then
easy.
and then everybody wants results right away. Genoa was doing something amazing when they came to Serie A. They had a great first season. They played good football. They had a top coach. For me, Gilardino is the next Thiago Motta, the next one to get the chance. It's not his fault why Genoa is struggling the way that they're struggling. You lose the entire team. You give up on this project that could have been something nice. Same thing, Monza. Monza's another example, too. Nesta, I'm not saying Nesta's going to go on and be Pep Guardiola, but it's so hard to judge him. And now he's probably going to get sacked, and they're going to lose the team. But the reality is, these clubs have been making decisions that are so tough to deal with that I feel like almost any coach that you could put on
I don't
would
think
have
Galliani
struggled.
is going to sack Nesta very quickly, and it's not going to do that because first of all, you win a game, you 3 points, you get one up, you're getting to 6 points. If you win another game, then you're up there. Look at that. Hey, it's still the beginning. We just said it. It's just the beginning.
I'm scared
Just
for Nesta. I think he's going to
You
be
need to
gone.
be patient. Nesta, I think, has got a special relationship with Galliani. So, AC Milan players, they had a relationship and all the stuff. I don't think it's going to be sacked anytime soon. Not really. No, it's
I don't
not.
know.
It's not happening.
They need to start collecting points. bro, because-
But knowing Galliani is not going to be sitting idle doing nothing. Galliani is going to go and he's gonna look for. They made a big mistake giving up on the Gregorio
And
we
giving
know-
up. They sold him.
well, they sold it.
Did you see the
Anto,
mistakes they made?
First off, it's Berlusconi's family now
Did you see
that
the
owns it,
mistakes?
and they're probably looking to sell.
Yeah.
So they haven't spent any money right now because it's up
Yeah.
in the air. So
But you do not
see-
want to lose it. You don't want
you
to
don't
let
want to
the
lose
team
the
go to
slot, yeah,
Serie.
because then you lose the value. Sure, come
already
January
lost so
they're
much
going to
value.
figure out
So
something.
they're gonna
No,
go to the
meaning
market
if
again.
they go down to Serie B, then
Knowing Galliani
lose
is
20,
already
30
shopping
million.
for some
Weren't
money.
there
I don't think
Americans that
Nesta's
were
gonna
looking
stay.
into them?
yeah,
What?
there's different
I don't think
investors
Nesta's
that are
gonna
always
stay
looking
I was
into
gonna
it.
say
Saudis, I
was
think
gonna
they said the
say,
Saudis.
Maybe,
But nothing
maybe
has
to the
come out.
Panettone. If you get,
I don't think the
No,
way
he's not making it.
Nesta's not
And again, I say it's not
Nesta's
because of
not it.
Nesta. I feel like it's a very tough situation that he's been thrown in.
for sure. For
You know,
sure.
I don't want to go there and
But a lot
judge
of
him
them-
as a
who
first
you
time
gonna
in
get?
Serie A.
Who you gonna get out there? What's there?
I mean,
Sarri?
I know for Fiorentina, the rumors has been fans say Tudor. But again, Palladino's a great coach.
It's not
Palladino's
doing
a
that
great
bad,
coach.
Palladino.
I
Just
don't
give him
mind
time.
Palladino.
Give him time.
Nesta, on the other hand,
His
I
team's
don't
making
think
the
he's
same
gonna make
mistake
it.
over and over again is the problem with Fiorentina. You watch Fiorentina Empoli. Fiorentina used to dominate this. I mean, Fiorentina should win against Empoli, but Empoli's a tough team as well. And Empoli was just happy to play contained. Fiorentina looked better towards the end of the game. They were the team that was
But
probably going to go on
Fiorentina
and
too,
win
they're
it.
selling. If you're selling your best Nico Gonzalez, you're selling your best player. You're getting a new coach. They don't look the same. I just feel like
Fiorentina have
they
rotating
keep.
doors. You get the two guys and two guys go. You get
But that's
another
the
guy
thing.
and the other guy goes.
But also-
so
you
you don't
see-
have the chance to
yeah.
build.
It's
Signs
also
of
late in the
promise.
Mercato, though. They also
Yeah.
got these
Yeah.
guys last
And it's
second,
hard to
and it's like,
find a
all right,
replacement.
figure it out right now.
And then you get a coach, and then for some reason the coach is already on the back foot, and now he's getting crap for not playing. When in reality, you're putting him in a difficult
And
situation.
they got a lot of quantity,
But they
but I
also-
don't know about the quality.
They got also the players that he wanted. So
that
he
he wanted.
wanted Keane. He wanted Colpani.
Keane
they
is good.
They gave
Kopani's been terrible.
Goodmanson,
They gave
yeah.
him these guys.
My God,
Goodmanson is
yo,
another interesting
Kopani,
guy.
Kopani,
So,
what the hell is
He had a
going
good
on with
last season,
Kopani?
though, which is strange, right?
Sometimes the player
Florence
also
is
doesn't
tough.
get into the
Yo, Florence is
doesn't
tough.
Get into the
It's a tough
He
environment.
looks like a little shell shocked from the situation because he's got quality.
And a lot of players, teams wanted Colpani too. There's a lot of
Really?
yeah.
I didn't see
There
his
was,
name float
I
around.
mean, there was a
What's
lot of there was a
remember.
lot of talk on Colpani last season.
Yeah.
We're,
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
talking him up like crazy.
That's right, that's
you don't
right.
remember?
But who wanted him? I didn't see. I didn't
not
see
the
much.
top team.
Maybe not the top team. Okay, but I feel there was a lot of talk on Colpani. Regardless, I remember that.
Listen,
clearly.
again, it's the beginning. Just give a couple more weeks.
Yeah,
let's
it's
let's
early,
talk in
it's
2
early.
weeks. Then you'll see it.
The next international break.
No, yeah.
Yes.
But the
Then
next
the
international
dust is
break,
gonna settle.
that international break, you're gonna see.
You'll see some
I think you're gonna see a
separation.
couple heads going.
Yeah.
You see some
That's
separation.
That
the
one-
time because there's for sure.
I mean, even Torino, like
Yeah,
Torino, they
that's-
were flying high, and then, but it's normal. It's if you thought Torino was going to go on and be in the top 4, it's your fault.
No, yeah,
it's not that Torino's, they're falling off. They're kind of getting where they belong. They're going down.
Hitting reality. What's it called?
Yeah. Reality hits a little bit. Reality sets in.
No.
You lose a lot of players. But Vanoli, again, a guy that's finding solutions. At least they had fight. Like, at least they were fighting until the last second. They don't give up. They got
lucky against AC Milan. Vanoli was all Vanoli.
You guys got lucky.
Yeah, they were up 2-0.
Listen, if we had
kidding
Vanoli with the cannoli, listen, if we had an extra 5 minutes, we would have won that game.
Okay.
Oh, you want 10 minutes, dude?
What do you want? 100-minute games?
You know what Vanoli said? You know what Vanoli said?
What?
They asked Vanoli, would you make those same changes that you did? He goes, if my grandmother had wheels, she'd be a wheelbarrow.
I don't know. I'm gonna zip
Could be
my
a car
mouth.
too.
What? Excuse me? I want to zip my mouth. I think Vanoli, he's got his 5 minutes of fame. He's grateful, and that's it. He's done. I think
He's
it's
done an
done.
amazing job.
He's
with
done.
Venezia.
You just said it's too soon to tell. The guy started off amazing.
You guys,
He loses one game.
Torino, first place. Look, AC Milan, and then yeah, let's suck him.
Everything
Let's
always
suck
goes to
this
me.
guy. Yeah,
I never said I wanted to.
I didn't know.
Let's sack him, this
There we
guy.
go.
Let's sack this guy. That's it. Yeah. Fonseca's
The
done.
producer was saying that.
Fonseca's done. Oh, he's done. That's it.
What
He's
else?
done.
What else didn't we talk about? Atalanta.
Bologna.
Bologna, Atalanta.
Bologna.
Yeah. I mean, Atalanta's a strange team. That's first of all.
They could have built on
I
this.
think they
This
have
could have been
one
the year
win.
that they pushed for the
I think they have
Scudetto.
one win in like 6 or 7 games in all competitions.
This could have been the one. This could have been the season. Too many changes, injuries, getting guys late, 13 new players. I mean, what's Gasperini supposed to do? Does he have a magic wand that he's got to say, all right, everybody's got to understand my ideas today? And then defensively, they just get caught out. But he's got no defenders. He
But you
doesn't
expect them
have
to be
natural
playing better.
defenders.
But you expect them to be better.
He had his natural defender. His starting center backs, one game. The game that they looked great
They have
against Arsenal.
their own playing center back
I mean,
every now and then.
it's...
Chiellini's
Atalanta,
not
do
good
not
enough.
discount Atalanta, okay? Even though Scamacca is not the issue over there.
They're going to
because
fight
he's
for
injured.
5th place. Atalanta.
What do you want?
They're going to fight with Roma for 5th place.
What do you want? What do you
I,
want to win?
I think they're gonna start picking up points in the second half of the
they
season.
will. They will.
You see them finishing top 4?
I see them finishing top 4.
Top 4?
Atalanta,
Out,
yeah,
out for who?
5.
Out for
Top 5.
Out for who? Which team?
so we got
Inter, Juve,
Inter,
Napoli.
Juve, Napoli.
So you got them out for Milan.
Damn, that's tough.
That's what I'm saying. When we say stuff
Inter. See, Pete. Congratulations. You
I can
won
see
again.
them fighting for.
You repeated.
With
Pete.
who, Milan?
Congratulations, Pete.
I can see them fighting for Milan. Yeah,
No, I don't
I think
think so.
Milan.
Not
I think
Milan.
Milan gonna be scrapping in the second half of the season.
we're
would
scrapping
say-
right now.
No, I would say Juventus. I don't see Juventus going that
No,
far.
I think Juve are gonna. Motta has looked great.
I don't
man.
see it. I don't see it. You know, you can just talk as much as you want. We
Inter,
didn't
Juve, and
consider any
Napoli are
goal,
top
that the
3.
best defense, blah, 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 blah.
Atalanta and
I don't
Milan are gonna
see
be
it.
fighting for top 4.
For some reasons, I don't see
I
it.
see Milan finishing 4th.
No,
I think
no,
they're
no.
good.
Easy.
Yeah. I don't really...
I will trade
They're
it
gonna
for you.
finish
I will
fourth.
say
You think they're gonna
Juventus.
keep Fonseca too?
I will say actually Juventus.
We'll come back in a
I
couple,
will say actually
couple months.
Juventus fighting Atalanta for the 5th place.
No, I think Juve have.
Fourth
Motta's
place.
gonna do a great job there. You already see how well he's doing.
I don't know. I
That
am my
is brand
doubts.
new.
I am my doubts.
I think the
That's
5th
fair.
spot will be
It's too-
closer between Atalanta and Roma. If Roma can get their act together and start picking up points where we need them. I mean, they got 2 wins since Juric is gone. Any other teams we missed? I don't think we missed anybody. Pretty much.
Well,
Not much has changed.
Look at Lazio, Roma, Torino.
Just more so just feeling that like
Fiorentina,
everybody,
pa, pa,
anyone could beat
pa.
anybody on their given day. It's crazy. It's really crazy to me.
But AC Milan has got the most prolific scorers of the Serie A so far. Our balance sheet is very important. You know, scoring is important. I mean, taking goals, you can just fix things on the backside over there. That means you get your midfielder a little bit more involved. You have some of the forwards come back and help the defense a little bit, filter a little bit better. But scoring is important. For you guys, Juventus, you're not taking goals, but you're not scoring. I mean, you got lucky against
gonna come, though.
against this low team over there. Against Napoli, they didn't do anything. Napoli played better in Torino. Napoli played.
Maybe
a
that's
better
your
game.
problem. You discount the small teams. What happened with Parma?
Well, that's the problem. You see, the small team now that we were asleep. Now we woke up. Now we look what we did with Lecce. Boom, 1, 2, 3. The game we put it away.
That
with
was more of
Venezia,
Lecce.
1, 2, 3, 4. Boom, we put it away. No more. No more.
Okay, yeah, you think everything's gonna go smooth sailing from now?
Forget it.
Oh,
Forget it.
we'll wait for
Bring
the
them
Champions
Parma
League.
again.
We'll wait
It's
for the Champions League.
important to score. Okay, and we don't even have Leao scoring. We have just about everybody scoring. Imagine when Leao starts to score because the coach is demanding.
The trouble's coming, right?
Oh yeah, trouble is around the corner.
He said
The
treble.
treble. The
Treble?
triplete,
Yeah, the treble. No, the treble. Only
That's
them
that's
that can do
that's
that.
seal for
That's
them.
the
their
treble.
obsession.
So what are you gonna win then?
We
If they
don't
win the
care.
treble, what are you gonna win?
With the trouble.
Serie B Trovo.
All right, guys. Thank you everybody for watching. Ciao ragazzi, we appreciate
Oh
you.
wait,
Make
wait,
sure
wait!
you
Don't
rate
we
this
wanted to
5
preview
stars.
the game for tomorrow, Milan Leverkusen?
We spoke about it like 3 times.
3 times? Oh, I lost it. Okay, I was
Good
not
luck
here.
on your surgery tomorrow.
Oh, thank
Everybody
you.
wish Antonio well,
Thanks, guys.
and he'll be back to playing tennis ASAP.
I can play tennis with you guys even with my broken knee. Don't start with that.
Anto, we're gonna take extra.
Mr. Producer is my witness over
Anto,
here.
we're gonna take extra of that laughing gas for the
And
ride
we-
home.
And you can do an AI, something with AI over there, Mike. Show me with the crutches and then beating on those guys.
backflip or
That's
something.
right. I love that. Do it, Mike. Do it.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thank you guys
Don't
for watching.
laugh.
We'll talk to you soon. Ciao.
Ciao, guys. And Forza.
Milan,
And
Inter,
and
Bari,
and.
Roma.